Well, good evening. Welcome to the Brothers-in-law. And then on this channel, we discuss police-involved incidents that occur around the country, and we give our analysis on the actions of the police officers. Excuse me. To see if their actions are what a reasonable officer would do. And we also take a look at the actions of the citizens to see if they have followed our acronym CALM, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Would their situation had turned out differently? Now, you may agree or disagree with Mike and I, but by the end of the video, it is our hope that you get a better understanding of how these incidents unfold. So if you're new to our channel, I was a Virginia State police officer for 7 years, and I'm a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer with 21 years of service. Mike?
I'm Mike Bradley. I'm a retired police officer, mostly a beat cop, a street cop for most of my career, but retired from Northern California. And I'm also a 6-year Army vet, proud of it. So, hey, Tone, I see you, Tone. What's going on? We got a good show lined up for you guys today.
Delano. Yeah, Delano's over watching on Facebook. What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome.
All right.
Stacy be on here in a minute. I think she had to go pick up our son from work. But yeah, Mike, we got a good show. Another video that was emailed to us from one of our viewers asked us to break down this video. Entitled tonight's video is The Fallout of a Hit and Run. The woman's choice, her choice amplifies the chaos. Uh, when we look at these things, Mike, we always have to ask ourselves, well, why do they happen this way? What causes people to react this way? And and that's why I say there's no such thing as routine traffic stop, a routine crash incident. At any given time, these things can go sideways. Hey, Bubba, what's going on, man? Welcome. And so, this is why we do these videos to show people that, hey, look, it's nothing. Uh, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Routine about what an officer goes through on a daily day basis. Because I tell you many times, man, after you start off with a good conversation with somebody, and then you go check some things out, and then you go back and talk to them, and you may have to arrest them. You may have to just give them a warning. You may have to give them a ticket, or whatever the case may be. And then the whole situation goes south. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And this video is one of those videos, one of those instances where it goes south. But this is a good video because it gives people, I think it gives citizens an idea of this is sometimes, unfortunately, this is regular encounters by police. They come across people like this who, for some reason, just don't want to go with the program. In this situation, this officer really tried to play it to where, look, let me just get what I got to get, do what I got to do, and send you on your way. What's the acronym called? The last one is move on. This officer in this situation, folks, was really trying to get this driver to move on. But unfortunately, this driver in this video we were going to show you wasn't hearing it. She didn't want to go with the program. Hey, Stacy, I see you. Delando, Bubba Buck, Tone, I'm glad you're joining us. I missed you last week, man.
But I see you missing you, brother. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead. Go ahead. You want to set it up, Mike, and I'm gonna get the video ready.
Yeah, sure. This was an incident that happened last year, 2022, in Illinois. I think it was. I can't remember the city name, but it was. These officers had gotten a call of a hit and run traffic collision where one of the parties decided to drive off and didn't do what was necessary when you get involved in a traffic collision. That's a hit and run, right? You could be arrested for hitting and run. If you get into a collision and you take off and don't do what you're supposed to do, that's a crime. You could be arrested. They gave, in this situation, they had given the license plate, description of the vehicle, all that stuff. And lo and behold, the officers finally catch up to her. And this is what happens.
Yeah. This is about 14 minutes, and just be advised, it's a lot of profanity in this one here, so just be aware of that. And we'll get into it. There's some things I want to say, but what you need to do if you ever find yourself uh, in a situation like this where you're involved in a hit and run crash. There's some things you might want to be aware of that
Yeah.
most people aren't aware of, and so we'll hit you up with those pointers here in a second as the video goes. Now there may be a commercial in here. You know how I hate these commercials in these videos, but just bear with us though.
2022, police conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle for leaving the scene of an accident in Joliet, Illinois.
Hello. Were you just in an accident back there? You sure? Yeah, over there on South Hames Street. Okay, do you have your driver's license and insurance card on me? I just need your driver's license and insurance card, man. Yes, so you were involved in an accident just back there. We have your driver, we have your license plate, your vehicle description, you're on camera, and you have damage on your vehicle, and then you just left the area. So we're just trying to get your information for the accident, and then we'll send you on your way, okay? So I just need to see your driver's license and your insurance card.
I just want to stop it there real quick, Mike. I want to ask our audience a question. Hey, what's up, Jesus? Love you. At this point, I want everyone to put their police officer hat on real quick. At this point,
We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this.
At this point, what are some of your thoughts right now? You're the law enforcement officer. You've already now see, and this is the thing, right? He already knew that this was the vehicle before he stopped her. He knew this was the vehicle involved in the hit and run.
Yeah.
And so you heard when he first went up there, hey, were you just in the accident back over, blah, blah, blah. He's trying to do that. One, if it were me, because I've done that, is see if you're going to start off telling me the truth or not. And whether or not I'm gonna have to start digging for information. And she's procrastinating now, playing dumb, like she don't know what's going on.
What accident?
Right. What accident?
No accident. Yeah.
Right. So I just like to know right now, viewers, what is your thought process? You're that officer right now, and he's already now twice now getting ready to explain to her why he's pulling her over. So I just like to get everybody's little point of view, what they think just now. Go ahead and drop your comments down below in the comment section, and let's start this conversation.
See, right out the gate, the first thing is she doesn't even roll her window down so that we can clearly communicate and clearly hear each other. So that's already as an officer, to me, that's already a confrontational move that tells me that this communication is not going to go very well, because she is intentionally trying not to talk to me really by keeping the window up. And why I say that is common sense. Naturally, when someone approaches your driver's side window and they're trying to talk to you, unless there's some crazy nut or something like that, you're going to roll your window down, at least crack it a little bit so that you can make sure you hear each other and what each other has to say. Now,
a reasonable person.
Yeah. Now, she was clearly pulled over. She should clearly know this is the police that pulled her over, but she doesn't want to roll her window down at all. That's the first red flag of this ain't going to go very well. That's what that would say that to me. Now, like you said, Corey, The officer already noticed she had a car that was involved in a collision. The license plate, description of the vehicle, plus she had the damage on her car consistent with what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So he already knew that she was a car. By her denying it, that's red flag number 2. Saying, look, okay, now you ain't rolling your window down, and now you ain't even admitting that you was involved in this collision. So, you know, this gonna start to change into a situation that an officer doesn't want. Look, clearly this officer is saying, look, I just want your license, insurance information, registration. We can get this taken care of, and I'll send you on your way. I'm not trying to hold you up.
Right. And I don't want to jump the gun, but yeah, you 100%. We're gonna keep it moving.
Ma'am, you need to give us your driver's license and your insurance card.
You would have no right to be. My father, she trying
Ma'am, it's just an accident. Don't turn this into something else.
Oh, that's a
We're
common.
having an accident. You gotta
I've
come
said
off of
that many a time. Don't turn this into something that don't have to be.
Right. Why? Well, okay, see, and now again, audience, you're that officer, right? Now you've already repeated yourself twice, right? To her, hey mom, welcome. You've already repeated yourself twice to her, right? Explain to her why you pulled her over, that she was involved in the accident. Now you hear her saying again, why you pulled me over, why you stopping me.
I just told you.
And I just told you again. Now you're ready to tell it for a third time. So now, what is your thought process now as the officer? What are some things that you're thinking of that could possibly be going wrong here? As in, why would she not give you this information?
Good question. I want to hear from the viewers. What do you think up to this point? What do you think would be going on with this woman here? What do you think? What would be your first perception of this driver who you pulled over for being involved in a hit and run? She's already denying that she was involved in a hit and run, denying being in a collision altogether, not rolling a window down to talk to you. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, viewers? What do you want? What would you think of this woman at this point?
Right, Delando. Okay, let's take it a step further. Delando says something to hide, perhaps. Okay, what would she be hiding? Think about it now. You're involved in that hit and run, right? What would be some reasons why a person would leave the scene? What would be some reasons? And now you'll see why. You know, we look at these things as red flags, right?
Yeah.
And so we want you to put you in the mindset of the officer, and so that you'll get a better understanding of, you know, what transpired. Bang. Anthony, 100%. Delando, 100% correct. No issue.
Yeah. Jesus loves you. Definitely red flags. Definitely a red flag that you might have to go hands on. These are all the things. You guys are coming up with the perceptions, and this is exactly what an officer would be thinking too.
Right.
There's something else going on here. She doesn't want to give me the information that I'm asking for. She doesn't want to even admit that she was in a collision when we know she was. Okay. She's already being confrontational and argumentative, in starting with not rolling window down. Okay. Now, this officer didn't ask her to roll the window down, but it's just in my mind as an officer, I'm thinking, well, this is not natural. Most people will roll the window down a little bit if they're going to talk to me, right?
Right. It's just natural. Again, we look at this, you know, both sides of the coin as, is this what a reasonable citizen would do, as well as the actions of the police officer? Is this what a reasonable officer would be doing? Right now, this officer is being very reasonable. Hey, this don't have to go no further than what it is right now. Just give me your information so I can put it on a report and be done.
That's right. Send you on your way. And as you will see, he constantly tries to convince her, listen, ma'am, I just want to get all the information that you need to exchange with the other driver or do a collision report or whatever it may be and get you on your way. Don't, what did he say, Corey? A common phrase that officers say, don't turn this into something more than it has to be. In my mind, that's an officer. I'm thinking, look, let me just do this traffic collision or facilitate an info exchange with the two parties involved, and I can get you on your way. That's what I'm thinking as an officer that I want to do. But this woman is showing me that, man, I might have to do something else now. This may not just be as simple as that. Because remember, the driver is dictating what's going to happen, what decisions I'm going to make as an officer.
Right. And like you said, Jesus love you said, at this point, he's probably thinking, am I going to have to go hands on? Right now, now the officer's got to change his mindset or her mindset and be thinking, okay, this is not going to go the way I want it to go. And then, who's at fault? And then we want to yell and scream, all kind of other things. The officer, didn't have to, snatch her out the vehicle and things of that nature. But it's something simple as just, hey, follow the acronym, comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. The worst that would have happened out of this whole thing, she just got those tickets and rolled on, or probably got her vehicle towed because she doesn't have a valid license. But as you will see here in a second, things change.
The answer to that question, Tom.
Okay?
No, go ahead.
You're involved in the accident.
Oh, go.
We have to take your information. What's your first name? Don't turn this into something that you don't need it to be, okay? Let me tell you something.
You're turning it into something.
Ma'am,
why did you
we need to take, I already explained it to you. We need your driver's license and your insurance card, or what's going to happen is you're going to end up going to jail. I already explained. Do you want me to explain to you for the third time? Okay. You were involved in an accident on South Hames Street. You left the scene of that accident. We have your license plate. You have damage to your vehicle. We need your driver's license and your insurance card for the accident report, and then we can send you on your way. If you refuse that, you can go to jail. So it's your choice.
Do what you gotta do.
I'm just asking for your driver's license and your.
At that point, Mike, when she said that, she coming out that car. I'd have got her out that window. Point, she said, "You do what you got to do."
The officer is being as patient as he possibly can. That's de-escalation, folks. By the way, that's the de-escalation. Okay, he's just trying to say, "Look, ma'am, this is all you need to do, and then I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go on home." Yeah. Okay, why are we standing here being confrontational with me? I'm telling you why I stopped you. I'm telling you this is all I need, and then I can send you on your way. Let you go. Move on.
Yeah, Tone. If I were working this crash and she had no license or insurance, yeah, she would have got. I would have gave her some. If I wasn't arresting her, if she didn't act a fool like she was acting, yeah, I would have ended up letting her go with just giving her what we call tickets. Yeah, we call them Virginia Uniform Services. I would have let her go, and I probably would have either won. The car, she had no valid insurance, so the car would have had got towed. But yeah, she would have been free to go without having a driver's license and or insurance. She wouldn't have been driving that car. The car would have had to been towed. But you making it more than what it is. And once she said you do what you got to do, we're done. The conversation is done. It's now like Jesus love you said, we're going hands on. And
yeah, I mean, you kind of leave me no choice. I gotta get what I gotta get, or I'm gonna have to arrest you. First of all, you already did a hit and run. That's a crime within itself, right? You already at a point where you can be arrested just by committing the hit and run. Okay. So that alone, this officer is trying to say, look, we ain't gonna worry about the hit and run part. We just gonna worry about the collision and treat it as such until you start acting like this.
Well, I think that would be by state. Here in Virginia, hit and run uh, is before I arrest you, it would be really based on one, how much damage was done to the vehicle. It has to be over $1,000 worth of damage and
Mm.
injuries. If there's injuries involved, then yeah, I'm going to arrest you for hit and run with injuries involved, and for property damage exceeding or equal to $1,000 in damages. But if it's just a simple one that a little fender bender and you just left, I'm just doing exchange of information.
That's assuming you can get the information that
That's
they
assuming I can
voluntarily
get it.
provide that. But
And
out
this
in,
situation, right? In this situation here, yeah, she going to jail.
yeah.
Now
Now in
that would be,
California,
that wouldn't be for the hit and run though. That would be for the obstruction.
okay, well, y'all, that's a little okay. You just put it in a different category. That's all. But in
Right.
California, when you get into in California, when you get into a collision, like a collision, vehicle versus vehicle, vehicle versus pedestrian, whatever it is, uh, you're required to exchange certain information, contact information, insurance information. That's required.
Yes.
If you knowingly don't do that, okay, or you don't have it and just decide to take off and say forget you, that's a hit and run. And I should have researched it. I'm pretty sure that's a misdemeanor still out here in California. If
It's a
you do a hit and
misdemeanor.
run, it's a misdemeanor. And technically you could be arrested. If we did an infield show up and the other driver was able to identify you as the driver of that other vehicle, coupled with you actually driving the vehicle that was involved, you got damage to the vehicle, the plate matches and everything else, that other citizen could place you under citizen's arrest for misdemeanor not committing in the officer's presence. They could arrest you for hit and run. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Corey, at the same time, it is quite common, even out here in California, that if we don't have to go that route, we won't. Because all the other party wants is the information so that they can let their insurance company handle it, so they can be properly compensated or fixed or repaired or whatever you want done.
Yeah.
So we try to encourage, even if you drove off, maybe you didn't know you were in hit and run. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you didn't realize you hit the other car. You know what I'm saying? We'll try. Look,
yeah,
you were involved. We need to get your information, like this officer is doing here, and so we can move on. You know, let me just get your information. You can let your insurance companies handle it, and we can move on. Now, if you don't have a license, you don't have insurance at the time I contact you, you're getting a ticket. You're getting a ticket because you was just involved in a collision. Okay, so naturally, if you wasn't driving, you wouldn't have been in a collision because you don't have a license and you don't have insurance. So you're going to, at least for me, you're going to at least get a ticket for no license and no insurance.
As well as I'll go back to Anthony and Delando's point where they were saying earlier that, a couple reasons why they usually flee the scene is one, no insurance. Two, they don't have proper driver's license. And the third one that typically happens is that they're a wanted person,
or they DUI and they know they
DUI.
They drunk and they know they drunk, so they're gonna take off on you.
Yeah, they're gonna take off, but they end up usually crashing. Usually, you can finding them within a couple of blocks away. I don't know how that always happens, but you always end up usually finding them. But so those are some of the reasons why people are going to flee the scene, and that's why it's important that one, write down their license plates, make sure you get a good description of that vehicle, and let the officer take it from there. Because as I arrive on scene at wherever they are, the first thing I'm looking for is I'm going to do a walk around on that vehicle and identify that vehicle was involved in an accident, as well as matching the license plate number that I have with the vehicle that's in front of me. Once I have all that information, I've already ran that person. I'm going up to the door, and then I'm going to make contact at that person's residence. And that's the way I handle all my hit and runs. And again, for here in Virginia, it's just a misdemeanor. So I'm just going to write you some tickets, and you be on your way. Now, again, if it's injuries and the damage is over $1,000, then you're going to jail for a hit and run with injuries and property damage. But that, yeah. So she's already set the stage for which direction she wants this to go, and we're gonna check it out here.
Your insurance card. That's all you got to do. Do you have that on you?
What accident are you talking about?
The one that you were just involved in. Now you don't have to keep doing this.
Okay, we can. We're gonna continue.
Okay. Okay, how about this?
I wasn't in no
I need your driver's license, your insurance card, or you're going to go to jail.
You pulled me over for no reason.
I already explained to you the reason. So I need your driver's license and your insurance card, or you can go to jail for obstructing the police. It's your call. Are you refusing to open the window? Because I think you know what's going to happen if you do that. And you don't need to turn that into something.
You pulled me over for what?
You want me to explain it to you for the 5th time?
Yep.
Okay.
Why you ain't get on me back in?
For the 5th time,
So wait.
you were involved in an
back
accident, you
So
fled
why
the
you didn't
scene,
get on me back
and
in?
now you're refusing to give me your driver's
Why you
license
get
and
on
your
me
insurance
back in?
card. So I need to
Why
see
you
your
ain't get on
driver's
me back
license and
in?
your insurance card, or you'll go to jail for obstructing the
All right,
police.
so what you
I'll
gonna do?
tow your
You
car
gonna open my
and
door.
impound it. Well,
So
you're
what
going to
you gonna do?
unlock it for me, or I'm going to break the window. Yeah,
For what?
because you're refusing to give me your driver's license and your insurance card.
That you can't.
I know I can.
Bitch, you dumb.
So are you refusing to open your window?
Refuse.
Okay. So at this point, you're under arrest. I need you to get out of the car, or I'm going to break the window and take you
Why
out.
are you pulling me over?
I already explained that you were past that.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. If you don't get out of the car, I'm going to break the window.
Hey, ma'am, what are you doing here on the scene? Otherwise, we're gonna be down at the station. It's up to you.
This shit is dumb as fuck.
Okay. All right.
What did I do?
It's going to come. I've been here for 10 minutes trying to get it through.
At this point, she's the dumb one. Okay, it's
Can you shut
ridiculous.
the car off at least so we don't turn this into something that it doesn't have to be?
Right.
I just don't want just 10-0 with just stand around the car. Okay.
Thank you. Can you turn the car off? Thank you. Can you give me your
What you think
driver's
is
license and
funny?
your insurance card?
What you think he's front of you?
I'm just asking for your driver's license and your insurance card.
Are you dead ass serious? You finna act like that's what you've been asking me for this whole time?
What have I been asking?
Shut the fuck
yeah.
up. Like, stop.
Okay, I need you.
See, I take my hat off to these guys because they're being very,
Patient.
very patient. Yeah. At this point, as soon as she rolled that window down, she's coming on now.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have been this patient. Now they are patient though. There ain't no mistaking about that. But if they just keep in mind though, if they did decide to break that window, they had every right to. You know what I'm saying? Because they tried, and as you will see, he continues to try. But it ain't gonna go very well.
Yeah. It ain't gonna go very well at this point. I'm done with her. Well, when she said a few minutes ago, "Will you do what you got to do?" I was done with her. I would have been done with them, and I would have got them out their car.
Tone asked a good question. He says, if you let them go and they get into another accident, is the first officer who made contact liable? Could they be liable? Well, that's a very good question, Tone. And I'm glad you asked that because I think in today's climate, unfortunately, it really wouldn't shock me if some officers really would let her go because they don't want to get into an escalated, elevated situation where somebody could seriously get hurt over property damage.
I feel, but you couldn't do that because you're in dereliction of your duty at this point.
Don't get me wrong. I understand where you come from. That officer is supposed to get her information while he's got her there. And if she don't comply, you got to do your job and go to the next step if that's what she's making you do. But Tone, that's a good question. Whether the officer after her or whether the officer initially who stopped her would be held liable. I don't know. That'd be something. I've never seen that situation before.
Now, liable as far as what? Liable
as far as if she hurts somebody else in a second collision,
then he won't be liable for the as fault as to the crash, but his supervisor then he probably would be getting some type of letter of reprimand or something like that. He would be definitely put on report or something. I know in our office, you definitely would be put on report. You've been, because you couldn't do that anyways, because that information is going back to the insurance company and say, for example, you did that with a DUI, right? And that person, then you let them go. Oh, that's you might as well hang it up. You're going to be done. Your career is over.
That's old. Yeah, that's one of those clear cut things.
Yeah.
If you stop somebody and they are too intoxicated to drive and you actually let them go and they get into another crash or worse, hit some pedestrian or something, you definitely going to be held liable for that, because based on your training and experience as an officer, you make this traffic stop and you knew that or you at least suspected that this person was too intoxicated to drive and you chose not to do a DUI investigation and let them go, you definitely can be held liable for that, Tone.
Yeah. And that aspect here, but this situation here, not saying that a cop wouldn't do that, Tone. I just find it hard for an officer to do that, if that makes sense.
It goes against the grain of what an officer knows he should be doing or is supposed to do, right? You investigating a hit and run here, okay? You got to get her information. Would you? What? Let me ask you this, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take a step further. What if they end up in an altercation and something happens where deadly force was used and the officer ends up shooting her and she dies? What will the headlines read? The headlines will read, "Officer killed this woman over property damage." That's how the headlines will read.
No, it would actually read, "White police officer shoots a black woman over a fender bender."
Right.
That's what your headline would be.
And that's where I come back to Tone's question. That's why I say clearly she's confrontational and clearly she's showing a red flags that you will have to go hands on with her. So as an officer, you're already formulating in the back of your mind that I'm probably going to have to get physical with this driver. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, Corey. At today's climate, you don't want to be in that position where something happens and say you end up having to shoot this person, or you put a control hold on her or something and you end up breaking an arm or something like that. You don't want to be on the headline. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you still got a job to do though. You know what I'm saying? You still got a job to do. And that's get her information. If she doesn't want to comply, you have options for that. She gonna get arrested. Okay? Period. Now, people will say, well, you didn't de-escalate or you didn't try to you should just let her go. It's just property damage. But folks, we got in the habit of letting everybody go.
Right. And if you were because if you've never been involved in a hit and run crash and or as a citizen or worked a hit and run crash as a LEO, law enforcement officer, then you wouldn't understand the victims in these incidents. They want answers. They want you as the law enforcement to do your job.
Right.
Get that information so I can go and report it to my insurance company because everybody's supposed to have full coverage on their vehicles or some type of liability insurance at minimum. And the victim in this case, the person involved in the crash, wants justice, and you as the officer have to go and investigate these situations and bring this to some type of closure. Uh, for her to take it to this level, what we're at now is just nonsense. And you wonder why these things happen, these incidents happen. It's never over just, oh, the tail light was out and you killed somebody over a tail light, like you were saying earlier. No, it didn't have to be this way. Why are you taking it to this level? If you're and honest with me, hey, troop, I don't have insurance, blah blah blah. I'll try to do what I can
work with that. I can work with that. You know
I would try to do within the limits of the law.
Right.
And try to work with you. Maybe I won't tow your car to add more expenses to you. May I allow you to drive it to the nearest parking facility area, parking lot, and park the car until you can get someone there, get insurance or whatever. But you're not driving that vehicle anymore. There's some things that we can't do. But when you come off sideways like this, and then you put that officer in a position to where you have to go hands on, and then they're going to be the ones, now they're the bad guys. Well, you should have just let her go. No, I cannot just let her go. It's not that simple, right? Because what am I going to do? Go back and tell the other party what? What do you want me to tell them?
She put up an argument and wasn't cooperating, so I had to let her go. How well you think that's going to go over? Look, officer, you didn't do your job, okay?
Right. That's my whole point. That right. So what I mean, I had to go back to the citizen and then what? And is that fair to them? Now they got. I mean, in this situation here, I'm sure the insurance company is going after her personally now because she has no insurance. But and then it sucks now that they're praying everything's going to be on them and their insurance. Because this individual, I mean, a lot of things could have happened differently had she just complied and been straight up honest when he asked that first question. Hey, man, were you involved in an accident on blah 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 street, whatever? And he already knew the answer. Try to give you the chance to be up and honest with me, but she chose a different path, and here we are. Bad police officer again. You should have just let her go. No, he should not have let her go.
No,
he should have got her where everything she chose, as we're getting ready to see here. She chose her path.
Yeah. Your driver's license and your insurance card. It's just an accident. Don't turn it.
You watch ESPN, you go on Google, you search messages today, see
Yo,
what
just
your
a
favorite
second,
team is playing, and then bet all those.
So he should tell you then that you should give me your driver's license. And what do you right now if you're acting like this?
Okay.
She didn't even make consent.
Why am I pulled over right now?
For the accident.
Sixth time? You want to go 6? You were involved in an accident. You left the scene.
You know what? Maybe she high on something. Maybe she intoxicated.
All this is an accident report, man. Don't turn this into anything else.
Don't turn it into something else.
It's an accident report. We need your stuff for the report, and then you're on your way.
It's your word against the other driver's word. That's all we're looking at, man. You're making this far too difficult on yourself.
I understand.
On yourself.
I understand.
Okay.
No, I
just give them your license, your insurance.
Is there mental health issues?
Can y'all go to them?
We already have an officer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go to them.
That's why we're here.
I have nothing else to talk about. I'm good.
I need your driver's license and your insurance card.
I don't have none of that.
You don't have your license. No, your insurance
I don't
card.
have it.
Okay, I need you to step out of the car.
Why?
Because I need you to step out of the car because now you're under arrest for obstructing the police. Okay?
Man,
you want to turn that into that? We can turn it into that.
Just get your license, get the insurance, get in.
See, why couldn't she have just said that earlier, y'all?
Right. but see, because she pushed it so far. Well, now it ain't just as simple as me giving you a ticket now. You know what I'm saying? Look, now you did a hit and run and you driving without license and insurance. You didn't put up so much of a stink on this. You would, you refusing to get out of, what do we say when you're on a traffic stop, folks? You must get out of the car if the officer orders you out of the car. And we're going to have a show on that next week, discussing that a little bit more detail. But she has to, you need to get out of the car if we tell you to get out of the car on a traffic stop. If you're legally pulled over, you have to get out of the car. So she refused to do that. She'd already pushed it so far, Corey, that, these officers, okay, we didn't got to another level now. And keep in mind, you made me do all this mess and try so hard to convince you to give me what I need. Well, now my anger is starting to build up. Like, you're going to make me getting all this bull over something that could have just been handled real easily and sent you on your way.
Real easy. And I'd like to say, I commend these officers. I mean, he was cool the whole time, right? Me, I kind of would have got amped up a little bit. And like I said, I'm only going to go so far because, especially if I'm on the interstate, the longer I stay on the side of the road,
more risk you have of getting hit by a car.
More risk, right. And I don't have time to sit here and go tit for tat with you on whether or not you were involved in a hit and run crash or not. I had to make a model of your vehicle. I had the color of your vehicle. I had the license plate. I had the description of you, the driver, because somebody had their dash cam in their car and I was able to identify you as the driver. You know what I mean? I've already established it. I have everything I need. Now you're being disruptive and not following the acronym CALM, complying, answer questions, listen, and moving on. Now, I mean, yeah, it's time to end this. Like, we always say time is on our side, but at some point you have to stop.
Right.
It's got to stop. And Tone says what y'all are saying corresponds with CALM. He's talking about the acronym CALM. The officer is trying to work with you. Well, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
From the very jump, he was trying. It's right. Something so simple as a crash, a fender bender. You're making a mountain out of this, and it shouldn't have to be this way. And that's why I say I don't like when people say, "Oh, it's routine. This is a routine traffic stop, or this is just a simple traffic crash incident." No, it's not, because at any given
this is
time,
way more complicated now.
Right,
than a simple collision. This
Right.
woman is making it way more complicated than that.
Right, it's making it way more complicated than that, and it doesn't have to be. But I guess my question was, well, why do we do that? Why do we let these things get out of control when they don't have to be? I don't know. If you know, let me know, because I don't know. And I used to.
But some citizens, they want to be confrontational, or it seemed like it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, she knew she didn't have a license and insurance.
She knew that,
right? She knew that from the start. Maybe that's what she was trying to hide. But she had to understand, we ain't gonna just let you go, lady. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna just let you go.
Now they say they got video of her driving, but what if, in some instances, when I run the license plate, you may not be the registered owner of the vehicle.
True.
Right? That registered owner of the vehicle may not be licensed, but you're licensed. And so when you dance around like this and play these games with the law enforcement, you're only making the situation worse for yourself. And the outcome is never going to be good. Now I got to do extra paperwork now. Now I got to come off the road and deal with you in locker for the next hour or so, and then go back. You know what I mean? It just doesn't have to be this way. No. It just doesn't. All right, we're going to keep it moving.
ID, whatever you got, just provide it.
Whatever you got, just provide it.
Right. Give me something.
It's Monday.
He says Monday.
I'm not trying to make it any more difficult than
I didn't do anything.
Okay,
Now you're doing something. Give us your license and your insurance card so we can get this on the report and get you the hell out of here.
Why isn't there a cover unit on the other side looking to see what she's grabbing out of that glove box? I don't know.
Right.
Or maybe there is. I just can't see him. I don't know.
Why are you opening my door?
Right.
Don't touch shit.
I'm not going to touch shit.
No,
but I need you to give me your driver's license and your insurance.
I am, but don't touch my door. Why are you doing
She's
it?
not.
Oh, now she has it.
It don't
Right.
matter.
Said she didn't have it.
Right. Right.
Fucking
Then act like it.
So you need to act
act
like
like
it.
Yeah,
Don't
you
touch
going to
shit.
jail right now.
Why
You
you-
passed
Yeah.
driver's license
Man,
and
what's
insurance.
up? You want to
What's
take me to
up?
jail?
No, I
Take
don't
me
wanna
to
take
jail.
you to
Don't
jail.
touch me.
She lucky she
Step in
didn't
my
get
face.
taken down immediately right there.
Step to the
Yeah.
side of the car. This is in the way.
Exactly.
Man. You're under arrest.
What are you thinking? Don't grab my shit.
I ain't
You got a wrist? You got a wrist? No. You got it, Bobby?
You see how she tensing up, trying to wrestle now. She tensing
Yeah.
up. She tensing up, holding her arms out,
Ain't
trying
nobody
to stop him,
You just
pulling her arm behind her back.
you must be a rookie. You must be a
See,
rookie.
she's trying to
You must be a
resist.
rookie.
That's
Yeah,
called
she
Look
resist.
resistance,
on my
folks.
face. You feel good? You feel good? You still gotta fight, coach.
You see how much force they gotta use just to try to pull her hand behind her back? That's because she's pulling away from her. She's resisting.
No, it's the other one. It's the other one. I got a wrist.
He
I got a
dumb. You dumb. Like,
Come on, let's go. Step. Gotta stand up, okay? Stand up. Stand up.
Ma'am, roll to your knees.
And then come on. Open your feet up. Come on. Flip your shoes on your feet. You want your phone? This your phone?
yeah, have
All right. Step up. If you want your phone, step on your shoes.
y'all.
That's fine.
I ain't do
Yeah.
nothing to y'all.
That's
for real.
fine. That's fine. Flip your shoes on. You want them or no? It's up to you.
Y'all take me to jail for what?
I'll put them in the car. Stop. Don't start.
She doing way too much.
Y'all.
Oh, my bad.
That's all right.
Another
When I
commercial.
found the bird, I prayed.
All right, they're gonna put her in the car and the rest of it. I'm gonna just put it till the end here.
They actually have problems with her at the jail.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go along with the booking program either.
I'm getting arrested. What am I getting arrested for?
Well,
You
you
still
see,
asking.
what you did back there is like all sorts of not good. Okay. And I
He
think
said
you know
all
that. So
sorts
just
of not
Oh,
listen.
sorts of not
No,
good.
what am I getting arrested?
It's called obstructing the police. I mean, we can go the whole different route if you want with resisting. You kick the sergeant. We could do that, but we're not going to do all that
Hold on.
unless you act a fool down in the jail. Okay. So what we're going to do, just listen to me. We're going to go to the Joliet Police Department. We have to take your fingerprints and your picture, and then we're going to release it. Listen to me. Just listen to me,
And
Brittany.
still
And then
get
we'll get you
released,
out of
Mike.
here on an I-bond.
Right?
Take you back to, or you can go sit at the Will County Jail with no bond. There's your options. Okay. This started from a simple traffic stop, and you could have just went with the program.
Yeah, right.
Right. But you didn't.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
So
I think she
I'm
got
just
some mental
explaining
health
to you why
issues.
you're arrested.
Yeah, hold on. All right, I'm gonna get to the thing.
It's a misdemeanor. That's a
Okay.
bullshit ass misdemeanor.
Okay,
Come on.
so I'm not going to jail.
No, this is the police station. This is
Y'all
the Joliet
promise
Police.
y'all not finna put me in
Look,
jail.
you're on camera. You're on camera, okay? I can't lie to you on camera.
Yeah, I'm dead ass serious. I didn't do anything.
That didn't sound right. I can't lie to you on
No,
camera.
you're not finna
Right.
say nothing. I didn't do
You have to.
anything.
You're under arrest.
Nope.
It's part of the booking procedure. Listen to me.
Nope.
Listen to me, girlfriend. Listen to me.
Y'all finna put me
Do
on
not
the mother.
walk away into a felony. Okay? Don't.
What?
Refusing this is a felony. We're trying to get you out of here. We ain't trying to do this.
Brittany was charged with felony aggravated battery and obstructing justice, misdemeanor.
So those are her charges right there.
And she ended up getting booked in the county jail, folks, because she
Yeah.
wouldn't go along with the booking process. She was still making it difficult. So guess what? Remember he said when they went to the police station, listen, ma'am, long as you go with the booking process and everything goes smoothly, we're gonna write you a ticket and we're gonna release you from the police station.
Yeah.
But guess
Yeah.
what? She acted a fool in the police station. Okay, now we're gonna book you in the county jail. Okay, it
And
ain't gonna be no more. Give you a ticket and we let you go. You gonna get booked in the county jail.
I believe she also got a $50,000
Yeah, a bail.
bond.
Yeah.
So all this you added on. I think they said, let me see if I can fast forward to the end, the very end. I think she ended up with there it is. $1,600 in citations, and she got a $50,000 bond where she had to put 10% down. And she can get a bondsman for that. So 10% of the 50,000. So she got to put what, $5,000 down. She gonna come up that money. Guess what? She sits in jail until her court date.
And hopefully it wasn't no Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then she's sitting in jail all weekend until Monday. All right. And
She's
hopefully
sitting in
Monday
jail.
ain't no holiday like Labor Day coming up. Okay. So listen, folks, just remember this could have been easily avoided if she just followed the CALM acronym. If she had just complied, listen, sir, here's my license, registration, and insurance. If she doesn't have that, it would have been much better if she'd have said right out the gate, yeah, I'm sorry, officer, I don't have a license. I don't have my insurance. The officer could have written her a ticket. She might have gotten her car towed, okay, written her a ticket, but guess what? She would have been moving on. She would have been going to no jail.
Right. I mean, and I would even ask her, okay, so what possessed you to leave the scene? Is it because you didn't have license and insurance? And they would have said, yeah, that's probably why I left, or I got scared or something other. But at least you still would have been going on about the rest of your day.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Now you're in the hole, 50,000. You got another 1,600 in citations. Then you got to pay for it. Well, she probably get public defender, but you just it's something is so simple as just a fender bender turned into costing this woman an ungodly amount of money. 6,000 at a minimum. $6,000 at a minimum, and not and then I'm sure if they go to court, Mike, then chances are she's going to probably be found guilty because you're don't have a valid license and driving and operating a vehicle without proper insurance. And then not to say that she's going to get sued by the other insurance company to pay for these people's damages. So that's another couple $1,000 problem.
Now, what would happen if she would have got seriously hurt in this physical altercation with the police? That could have happened. What if anything could happen? What if she would have got a different set of officers, Corey? What if she would have got some knuckleheads? Folks, we always say that because we don't know what kind of officer you're going to get. We like to think what kind of officer you're going to get, but is there a possibility that you could get a knucklehead as an officer? Sure. But her behaving like this, what do you think that knucklehead officer is going to do? You know what I'm saying? This is why it's important to follow the acronym CALM, because no matter what officer you get, you're going to be all right if you follow that acronym. Okay? 99.9% chance you're going to be alive, uninjured, either going home or going to jail, but uninjured. Okay? And not involved in altercation.
Let's say, and that's dealing with a reasonable officer, because if you're staying calm and you're interacting with me, okay, if you're doing everything I'm asking you to do, it makes it harder for me to do something stupid to you. right?
Yeah.
If I'm
Not
yelling,
that
it's
we're
for
the
me.
kind not that we were the kind of officers that did something stupid.
Right.
But
Well, we like to
yeah, as long as
consider
you're
ourselves
doing what I'm
reasonable.
telling you to do.
Right. It's hard for me to want to punch you in the face if I ask you to sit down, you sat down. If you know what I mean. Now, if I did anything to you while you were down, now it's really on me. You got a great lawsuit.
Yeah.
You have an awesome lawsuit on your hands right now. So
And
this is why.
also,
Go
let
ahead.
me ask our viewers, how would, as an officer, if you were the officer in this situation, do you think you would get angry with this woman during the confrontation? Do you think how would you feel? Would you be pissed off after a moment? How much patience would you have if you were the officer in this particular situation?
So
You know what I'm
say
saying?
on scale 1 to 10, 10 being zero patience whatsoever, you're going hands on, to 1 being I'm just be like these officers here and be just keep my cool and where are you at on that gauge? A 10, like
Yeah,
this
10
woman's
or
finna get it, or I'm a 1, I'm just being real cool and gonna play it on out.
and the reason why I bring that up is because I want our viewers to know that look, if you acting like a knucklehead, these officers are going to be feeling some kind of way towards you for acting like a knucklehead because you making me if you making me have to go hands on, I'm starting to get I'm going to be a little pissed off. I'm going to be a little angry. So when I go hands on, it's going to be swift, hard, and fast. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
play around with you because you have
Oh,
made me.
when she came out that car, she'd been down on the ground.
Oh yeah,
I'm
if
not,
she came
as
out
soon as
there,
you
let's
went,
go. What you getting ready to do? Well, I'm gonna
right.
take you down as quickly as I can, as hard as I can, so that I can make sure you ain't gonna have the opportunity to do nothing to me. That's normal, folks. So it just it just makes no sense what this woman did and how she behaved. But officers have to do a job, and that's unfortunately it gets pushed to that limit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jesus love you said, enough patience to do it by the book. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh
good one.
Tone ask, is patience part of your training and background at the academy? If so, I know I would have failed that portion of it. I'm not
For
I'm not
us,
sure, Mike. I'm not sure, Mike, if you can teach patience.
that's what I
Patience,
was getting ready to say.
patience, I
I
think,
mean, you could
is
at
more of a
some point.
maturity level, I think.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Maturity level and patience in the sense of, are you de-escalating this to a reasonable degree? Let's put it that way. But that's arguable. What one person thinks a reasonable degree is may be different from what somebody else thinks a reasonable degree is. Okay, Tone. So patience is something that you personally have to develop. If you don't already have it, you got to develop that on your own as an officer based on your experience in dealing with people who want to be confrontational. Okay. I think you got to be patient enough until you don't have to be patient. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I'm
Right.
patient until I'm past a circumstance or a point where, okay, my patience isn't doing any good here. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it'd have been over. I think when it comes to patience, though, I mean, like I said, I think it's a maturity level thing, and then you're human too, right?
Right.
And each one of us has our own breaking point, if you will, or our level where
Right.
we're going
There you
to,
go.
I don't want to say fly out the handle, but where we're at our wits end, and we're not going to take any more. Uh, these guys did great. I mean, I think they allowed, and I've read some things on this police department, Joliet, Illinois, and those guys are really really good when it comes to interacting with the public and having that patience. again, I just think it's not something that can be taught. It's a maturity thing. It's um, your level of reasoning, like you
Yeah,
said,
there
Mike.
you go. There you go. Your
And
level of
you're
reason.
right. Where you where is your breaking point? Because we're human. Every last one of us has our breaking point,
Hmm.
right? I'm not gonna sit here and let you. I'm like, once that lady said, do what you had to do that first time. For me, that's my cut point
Yeah.
because
And
I don't in my mindset as an officer, I don't want it to go any further because I think why I like to react fast is because the longer I allow you to go, I feel that the less I have control of the situation.
there you go. There you go. And officers have to control the situation. That's why you have to get out of the car when they tell you get out of the car on a traffic stop. That's why all the passengers are detained in a car on a traffic stop, not just the driver, the passengers too. Okay. If an officer needs you to stay in the car, they can direct you to stay in the car. If they need you to get out of the car, they can direct you to get out of the car. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
So I agree with you, Corey. Patience is something that each individual officer has their own degree of. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own point in which, okay, I'm not going to be patient now. And it also depends on what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with someone who wants to be argumentative on a traffic stop, it's a lot different than dealing with, say, a barricaded suspect inside a building who is making demands or not wanting to come out or whatever they're doing. That's a whole different circumstance where your patience will be,
Right.
applied accordingly.
Right. So, what are some things that citizens can do, Mike, if they ever find themselves in these types of situations? You're involved in a traffic crash, and that individual flees the scene. What are some things that they can do to help with their process of getting through this
Uh,
incident?
that's a good question, and I think you touched on it in the beginning of the show. But if you're in a collision and something like that happens, and the other party doesn't want to stick around, make sure you can be as descriptive as possible. Everybody got a cell phone now. Whip out your cell phone real quick and take a picture of the other car in person. Okay, take a picture of that license plate. You know what I'm saying? Get a license plate, description of vehicle. If you know where the damage is on that vehicle, the obvious damage that you was involved in the collision, make a note of that. Make a note of what the driver looked like, male, female, what they were wearing, what top to bottom. Did they have a hat on? What race were they? What their hair looked like? And just work your way down to the feet. Now, Corey, here's one. What if you are involved in a collision and it's with a parked car and there is no other driver there? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you explain what you do in that situation?
Well, it depends on if you're private property, then well, let's take to the interstate because if it happens on the interstate, then uh, and there's no person in the vehicle. After I run the registration and I obtain that owner's information, I'm gonna go to that residence and make contact with them, along with having the person involved, because chances are that vehicle is unattended. So the only thing I can do to that individual is charge them for having an unattended vehicle on the interstate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And I keep getting it. The interstate is a little different. You have a little bit more things you got to consider. Now
right.
in the city, like say if there's a parked car in a parking lot or just parked on the roadside, like a parked car, like a driver was never in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hit that car, the only thing you are required to do in California is you're required to leave your information either on the dashboard or somewhere where it's obvious that the driver can make contact with you at a later time when they come back to their car.
Yeah,
You can't just hit a parked car and take off.
Right,
You know what I'm
same thing.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got to leave something there to let them know, hey, I hit your vehicle. Here's my name. Here's my number. You know, things of that nature. Something to follow up on. If you are the victim of a hit and run and there's absolutely nothing to follow up on, meaning you don't have a description of a car, you don't have a driver, there's no one has camera footage of what happened or anything like that, it really isn't a lot you could do with the police other than just to report it to your insurance, because if there's nothing for us to follow up on, we don't have a crystal ball.
I know this well, it's dealing with crashes, but it's a little bit information for you. I would challenge everybody to check with their local authorities and find out the difference between a reportable and a non-reportable crash. Here in the state of Virginia, it has to be a minimum, I think it was $1,500 of damage. Right? Anything over $1,500 of damage will get a what we call a crash report will be done. Anything less than that, we consider that as non-reportable, and it's just as simple as having both parties exchange information and they go on their way. Now, what if I say it's a non-reportable crash, but it's in actuality, $4,000 worth of damage? Well, it is what it is. I mean, it's the officer's call on that, whether or not he or she thinks it's more or less of $1,500 in damage. It's at their discretion. Now, most guys and some ladies know, hey, a fender bender nowadays, you probably $800-900 depending, the age of the car. If it's going to be that, they're not going to get up underneath the vehicle and see, all the undercarriage damage of the vehicle. They're just looking at what they see right there. Yeah, that's probably $1,500 worth of damage. Dang it, I got to do a crash report. If it's a fender bender, just a dent in the fender, no, not $1,500 worth of damage. You're doing exchange of information, and I'm sending you on your way.
Yeah.
So check with your local authorities on that. So if you're ever involved in something, can you call the police? Because your insurance companies are always going to ask you, hey, did you call the police? And say, I always encourage people to call the police to come, so you get a report number, or we call an incident number, to go along with verifying, yeah, this accident did happen here on the interstate, and a trooper came out. So I always encourage people to call, even though you may think it's nothing. Now, if you both, that obviously goes, you both parties are, cool with not calling the police, and you're all right with each other exchanging information, and both parties going on their separate way, fine. But that's just me. That's what I like. I just kind of helps out the people, because a lot of people don't know what to do when they get involved in a crash, because they end up calling us. Well, what do I do about this? Well, where's my car, and how? Always ask. See, officer, just talk to them. They'll be more than happy to tell you about these things and what you need to do and be aware of. So, but thank you all for joining us tonight. I truly enjoyed this conversation, and I forgot to do it at the beginning of the show, and I got to work on that. Talk about the merch shop. Hit us up over on the merch shop, Brothas-in-law. .myspreadshop.com. Pick up your nice little Brothas-in-law t-shirt. This one here is one of my favorite ones. It says, let your hearts not be troubled, stay calm. And on the back has the calm acronym on it. Mike's got the police flag up there, the Brothas-in-law, where you can find us out on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So get on over there and get yourself a t-shirt. Your loved one a t-shirt for this Father's Day coming up. And we got a good one for you next week. that I think one of our no, Mike, you sent this one to me. If you got something you'd like for us to discuss and shed some light on, just hit us up over on Facebook. Shoot us the video and we'll look at it and we'll get it on the show. Thank you, Delando, for I think you sent this one to us. Thank you. Thank you for the video. This is a good one, man. We loved it. And I hope you all got something out of it. And Mike, last word.
Yeah, thanks for joining the Tone. I see you. Appreciate you coming. Delando, Bubba Buck, Stacy. Jesus loves you. We see y'all on here, Mrs. Taylor. Appreciate y'all joining us. And
thank you.
See you next week.
Yep, we'll see y'all next week. Love you. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Be safe.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Peace out. Last day of school tomorrow out in California.
Oh Lord.
Tomorrow's last day of school.